Pay attention because class is now in session. This is the moment you've been anticipating for the past 3 years, and now I'll provide you the Skulltimate comprehensive guide to Monster High G3. I'll be sharing the inside scoop with you straight from Mattel's design lab in El Segundo, California, where the designers spilled the tea on why they use hair types like polypropylene, an exclusive look at the original Monster High body and prototypes, plus exciting news on this collector series and tons more secrets I can't wait to expose. Before we get started, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, turn on notifications, and hit subscribe so you never miss the tea on the toys you love. Now, let's dive in. Lesson 1. What is Monster High G3? They've made some major character changes to the ghouls you know and love. For example, Laguna is now fully pink and is no longer from Australia. Instead, she is from Honduras. Draculaura now has a Taiwanese mom and secretly practices witchcraft. Comment down below. How do you feel about these major character changes? You may be thinking, why? Why would Mattel do this? At the Monster High alumni event, Mattel revealed some major intel as to why these changes were made, and I'll go over that in just a little bit, so creep on watching. Production for Monster High G3 began 3 years ago. As the design team reveals, much of what was created was done over COVID lockdown. During the Mattel event, designers like Rebecca Shipman and Elena New revealed that because they worked from home, designing dolls was challenging, and they'd even have to meet up in parking lots to exchange things like doll prototypes since offices were closed. During this time, Monster High went through various renditions. Unfortunately, we don't have photos to scare with you, but at the Mattel Design Lab, a large mood board was shown to fans revealing preliminary designs for G3. For example, Rebecca designed one version of Cleo which was inspired by her older sister Nephra and had fully teal hair. Some versions of Draculaura wore all black. One design for Clawdeen Wolf had her hair in a ponytail and resembled that of Barbie Extra. We were also shown a Laguna prototype head that was made of wax by Heidi Waldorf, who works on soft goods, hair, and faces at Mattel. Heidi revealed that these prototypes wear a wig, and she even ripped the wig off of the Laguna doll by peeling it back slightly during her presentation. A Frankie head was shown to us that had wrap around their head. Heidi shared that this doll head had just come out of a giant oven they used to style and set doll hair, and that the wrap protects the head. Shocking fact you probably didn't know, Heidi revealed that her biggest hair secret is that they don't use normal hairbrushes. They use a dog brush. She says it's a must for all doll hair. Kinda crazy, right? Additionally, I asked Heidi how she goes about choosing why certain dolls have saran while certain dolls get polypropylene. Heidi explained that there is a giant room filled with various hair colors that when designers show her a sketch, she tries to engineer colors that work to bring that design to life in a practical way. Heidi said that she often chooses hair type based on vibrancy, and that when doing styles with vibrant hair colors, she leans towards polypropylene. When dolls have certain hairstyles, she leans towards saran. We know that Monster High continued to be tweaked and edited, as a leak back in July 2022 reveals prototypes of Draculaura, Clawdeen, and Frankie. It's possible because tooling was already done for the earrings and accessory sculpts that they just ended up being reused for the final products, as these prototypes share things like earrings and glasses with the final product, but ultimately appear notably different from the dolls we ended up with. And on October 13th, a prototype Frankie Stein doll was leaked that's more alternative in style with no added pinks or neon colors. What do you think of this prototype? Do you prefer the darker vibe or the colorful Frankie we ended up with? Another prototype shows a different variation of Frankie, Clawdeen, Cleo, Draculaura, and Laguna, with Cleo looking entirely different, Laguna having blue lips, blue skin, and an orange to purple hoodie, while Frankie has yellow hair. These prototypes are from Clawdeen's bed playset. Director Todd Holland also leaked preliminary artwork of the movie makeup that included prototypes for the core ghouls. I have another in-depth video coming very soon exploring the live-action movie, so make sure you're subscribed and turn on notifications for when that's out. What influenced these changes, though? Mattel revealed that they've partnered up with Talk to Jess, which has impacted the ways in which Mattel ensures cultural representation and inclusivity. Talk to Jess, founded by Jess Wiener, is an organization that shares cultural expertise with companies to create brands that are fully inclusive. Some of the other companies Talk to Jess has partnered with are Disney, Warner Bros., Dove, and Google, just to name a few. Mattel stated that Talk to Jess also also shared input on Gen 1 Monster High, and Shannon Ryder, who is Director of Content and Creative at Talk to Jess, has been working with Monster High for 4 years. Jess also works on other Mattel brands such as Barbie and American Girl. So what exactly does this mean? What are these cultural changes? As stated earlier, each of Monster High's characters is changing in major ways, and the way Mattel puts it, Monster High is a multiverse of sorts, so G3 is only one of the universes contained within the Monster High multiverse. So don't worry, Gen 1 still exists in a separate entity or timeline. As for G3, you can expect the live-action movie will differ slightly from the animated series, both produced by Nickelodeon. And that online content by Mattel, as seen on the Monster High YouTube channel and TikTok, will take influence from the animated series. However, this content is produced by Mattel, so it may be notably different from the Nickelodeon versions of Monster High, which we can see based on the animation alone. So who exactly are the Monster High characters now? There are 9 main characters for the series, but a few more side characters have been revealed. These characters are Clawdeen Wolf at the heart of the series, Draculaura, Frankie Stein, Deuce Gorgon, Clawdeen, Heath Burns, Laguna Blue, Toralei Stripe, Headmistress Bloodgood, and additional characters have been revealed by leaked sketches and artworks which include Ghoulia Yelps, Claude Wolf, Abby Abominable, Finnegan Wake, and Manny Tor. Previews from the show reveal Spectra Vondergeist and Dracula, while showrunner Shay Fontana revealed that characters Howleen Wolf, Nephra Denial, and Romulus will also be making a return. Are you happy the Ghoul siblings are coming back? And which characters do you hope make a return? Comment down below. Some bios which were leaked from the Mattel briefing detail the character bios for the dolls. Clawdeen Wolf is a biracial human who finds out she's part werewolf. Her bio reads, "In all the adventures the Boo crew find, Clawdeen relies on her werewolf powers. An acute sense of smell and hearing help her follow clues, while her enhanced speed and strength allow her to take down anything in her way. But she's more than just a powerful monster. She's geeky, inquisitive, and appreciates a good pun." It was also emphasized at both the Mattel event and an article published by Yahoo that Clawdeen is Afro-Latina. Frankie has interchangeable bionic arms and identifies as non-binary, which some angry fans find extremely upsetting and controversial. Non-binary despite being extremely popular with and marketed towards young girls? What about her in a canon or meta way declares her as non-binary in any way? What? Even though I never really liked this show, it was still a part of my childhood. Western medias, they're getting up by this woke bullshit. Also, hot take, I don't think Frankie is the non-binary rep we should have. Like, I get they're all monsters, but something's off to me having the Frankenstein character being non-binary. Does that make sense? No. There are also people refusing to use they/them pronouns for the new Frankie, and I'm not talking about people who slip up and accidentally say she or her, but people who deliberately choose to refuse using Frankie's they/them pronouns. CC Balagot has been championing queer representation like a king, though, in spite of being misgendered several times during interviews.
Did you love her from the script read?
Oh my gosh. Absolutely. Okay. Well, I had just started my transition as a trans person, and I was really nervous that I wouldn't be able to act anymore. I was like, will I lose my livelihood? But this audition came along, and they decided to reintroduce Frankie as a non-binary character. Wow. And I was so excited.
And he's continued to express how important this role has been for him.
Because it's something that I have a connection with, and a really great way for me to connect with the trans community at large.
Handling it like a true king. Fun fact, My Froggy Stuff requested that Mattel make Frankie's bionic arms and hands to be able to change out. How cool would that be? Their bio reads that Frankie is just 15 days old and created by their scientist parents. Notice that they are no longer the child of Frankenstein. It should be noted that Frankenstein is public domain, but an inside source at Nickelodeon shared that the reason Frankie is no longer green and no longer has neck bolts is due to a licensing issue over the rights to have a green Frankenstein with neck bolts for Nickelodeon. CC Balagot reveals that Frankie's parents are now scientist Mary and scientist Shelley, named after Mary Shelley, the author of Frankenstein. Frankie's bio reads, "That means they have no filter, can be boggled by social norms, and can be completely awed by the mundane." On the other detachable hand, Frankie's brain is filled with pieces from the best and brightest minds in monster history, making them one of the smartest kids in school. Draculaura is now part Taiwanese on her mom's side, who is also a vampire and hides a big secret that she wants to be a witch, which is a major no in the monster world. Fans say they don't understand how witchcraft is condemned by monsters, but let's go with it for now. Draculaura believes in the world's potential, wants to improve society, and engages in activism. She is passionate about equality and wants to help everyone, including her two beasties, Clawdeen and Frankie. As a perfectionist, Draculaura only ever reveals her best side, but little by little, her friends are breaking down her walls and helping her overcome her insecurities so she can be her authentic goofball self. Okay, is it just me or she's like hella queer-coded? Hiding a big secret part of her identity, passionate about activism and equality? Let me know your thoughts down below on this. Alright, moving on is Laguna, who is now canonically from Honduras and loves writing creative graphic novels. When faced with disagreement, she goes into shark mode and reveals a huge number of needle-sharp teeth. She may be cute and bubbly on the outside, but Laguna is the most bloodthirsty monster at school. However, she's working through this and learning what it takes to be in a relationship, whether it's romantic or between friends. Deuce Gorgon is son of Medusa and Lyra, so he has lesbian moms, which is a win. It's noted that now the 7 snakes that live on his head each represent the 7 deadly sins. Deuce loves to take care of people and help out whenever possible. He longs for meaningful connection and is learning to stand up for himself against constant peer pressure from his snakes that attempt to influence him. Toralei Stripe, who now has a British Cockney accent,
"Witches don't belong here, Laguna,"
is the school's bad girl. She believes she's a modern hero by standing up for proper, conservative monster values. With a strong anti-human sentiment, it's no surprise that her goal is to get Clawdeen removed from Monster High, even if she has to frame her to do it, and it doesn't help that their two families have centuries-long beef. It should also be noted that Toralei formed a band called the Hisfits. Ghoulia is a zombie with fast fingers and is the top gamer at Monster High. She is an excellent skateboarder, which is great for getting around school faster than her undead legs. Cleo is now second in line for the throne behind Nephra and is the leader of the Mummy Dance Committee. Cleo may be a bit spoiled and self-centered, but she has a big heart and a lot of ideas. But what exactly changed about the dolls? Did you know Draculaura is now on a curvy body and Frankie has a bionic leg? Here's the cheat sheet to the most notable changes made. Each doll has entirely new head sculpts, and each doll has chest articulation, giving them even more posability options. But the changes are a tad more personalized. Draculaura is now on a shorter, curvier body, and has a different, smaller beauty mark. Frankie now has blue skin instead of green, no longer has neck bolts, taller body with a bionic leg. Clawdeen now has a wolf nose and freckles and baby hairs, has large animal-like eyes, tufts of fur on her face, hands and legs with polypropylene hair, and her pet Crescent is now a wolf instead of a cat. Cleo has a curvy body with mummy wrap details on her left arm and right leg, has golden eyes, and her pet is now Tut, a jackal. Laguna basically changed entirely. Has pink skin with scale detailings, has brown eyes, no longer has webbed hands, legs go from pink into blue, arm and leg fins are a different design than before. Deuce now has green skin and wears his hair in a different hairstyle. His hair has less depth and contouring. Ghoulia now has green skin, uses dark blue saran hair blend. Toralei now has long hair, has a painted on cat nose, and her stripes go on her forehead instead of her cheeks. Okay, so lots of changes. I think before I reveal Mattel's reasoning, I'd say each of these characters seems extremely relatable to Gen Z. I guess as I'm learning about neurodiversity, it's shocking to find that there's people who don't struggle with feeling like everyone hates them, or that they're constantly fighting their brain to not say certain awkward things. But reading about these characters somehow makes me feel less alone, and I'm 22. So what's up with them swapping character backgrounds? Mattel's census data reveals that there's a 276% increase in people who identify as multiracial, which is why Clawdeen being half human and half werewolf plus Afro-Latina is necessary in spearheading the new generation. Mattel shared that they use a yes and approach when it comes to identity because we are not just one thing and can't be boxed into one label. They revealed that 38% of Gen Z know someone of a gender-neutral pronoun, which is why representation like Frankie matters so much. As a queer person, Frankie has really become a very special character to me in this generation. According to Mattel's research, only only 11% of girls globally are comfortable with describing themselves as beautiful. And even more painful to hear is that only 4% of women would describe themselves as beautiful. This is why having body diversity is vital to the brand's message, featuring different heights, shapes, and sizes, even down to their ear shapes and noses. Researchers found children as young as 7 had 2 times the amount of anxiety, depression, and behavioral issues since COVID, and that Gen Alpha, aka ages under 13, are trying to reclaim their lost childhood. This is why the newest generation is made to appeal to a younger audience, because these kids didn't get a chance to develop as kids in the way prior generations had. Monster High is doing this by creating unique content on the brand's Instagram page, TikTok page, at in-person events like VidCon and Comic-Con, and even pushing the brand's message by partnering up with nonprofit organizations like DoSomething.org, just as they had in the beginning of Monster High Gen 1. It makes me incredibly happy that they chose to partner up with Do Something because it actually takes action instead of just spouting platitudes. In case you don't know, Do Something is one of the largest nonprofits exclusively for young people and social change. They donate clothes, involve teens in voter registration, create LGBTQ+ ally guides, and the list goes on. Monster High has partnered with Do Something to offer a $500 scholarship to volunteers building positive relationship with peers at school. Their goal is to encourage kids to create a welcome guide for newbies or simply make meaningful friendships. I'll be honest, I feel the website could include a lot more detail on how a person could do this type of activism, but it's a step in the right direction, and I'd rather them do something than nothing at all. It's clear that Mattel was very intentional and put a lot of thought, effort, and heart into curating this brand. But will it be enough to make new fans and keep the old ones? The older fans seem to be getting tired of lackluster details and rising price points, which brings us to lesson 2. In this lesson, I have an extra special exciting announcement Mattel made during the event, so pay close attention. If you have been subscribed since 2020, you've probably followed the journey of Skeletor Pennywise and the Grady twins, finally coming to fruition after months of speculation that it was all fake news. Now, 9 Skeletor dolls in and 5 Haunt Couture dolls later, we know Monster High Gen 1 isn't going anywhere. Mattel Creations was scary cool enough to send over the Frankenstein and his bride Skeletor doll set, and we have to address the monster Mattel has created. How did Skeletor revive Monster High? The Skeletor line was vital in creating buzz for the Monster High brand, while no media or Playline dolls were in store. As some backstory, Skeletor is an adult collector series by Mattel Creations invented by mad scientist Rebecca Shipman, who had the genius idea of intertwining horror icons with the Monster High brand. The collector dolls also keep fans engaged by integrating the original diaries in the Haunt Couture diaries. The Haunt Couture doll diaries clearly make meta awareness that Gen 1 existed and was halted for a long time. The Haunt Couture diaries continue the story of Monster High where we last left off with Great Scary Reef, with Nephra trying to break Cleo and Deuce up again, and the ghouls working on making outfits for a fashion show. Clawdeen has started up an Instagram account and is a fashion vlogger, and we'll learn more about Laguna once she's out and we can read her diary. How did you feel about the Haunt Couture line now that it's all wrapped up? Do you see them making a wave too someday? While the Skeletor and Haunt Couture line had some major controversy regarding the ways in which Mattel handles selling the dolls, the amount of press and buzz that comes out of it keeps Monster High on doll collectors' tongues. So what are the controversies with Skeletor? I feel like I can't give an unbiased opinion on this topic, and I wholeheartedly feel you guys aren't dumb. You know when something is worth its value, and you know when it's not. If I'm not creeping it real, then what's the point of having a platform? I'm a biased bitch towards Monster High, and I'm not gonna deny that. It's like, all the dolls are my children, right? But Monster High is secretly my favorite. With that being said, it's important I try to report on things subjectively, so I'll put my favoritism aside to give you the tea. Every single Skeletor doll ever made by Mattel has been controversial. Pennywise and the Grady twins weren't excused by the fandom for having minimal detail, yet high price points, yet sold out in 2 minutes and resell for prices upwards of $500 on sites like eBay. So fans dragging the Skeletor dolls to filth, yet still buying them in mass is not new or inventive conversation, so I'm not going to waste my time discussing that. I think what we could address, though, is that this is a common theme amongst various other dolls. Disney Limited Edition, Rainbow High, Bratz, Integrity Toys, you name it. People take issue. When people are spending big money, they have big opinions, and that's understandable. But why is the quality on collector dolls going down? Why are collector dolls coming with less accessories, and yet the prices are going up? I'll be honest, I don't know, because they can? I guess if we really want to get technical, since they're collector, it's safe to assume they're made in far more limited quantities than Playline dolls. Business fun fact, the more you order of something, the less expensive it is. So let's say you want to make a t-shirt. One custom t-shirt may cost you $50, but 500 custom t-shirts may cost you $5 a t-shirt. But aside from the MSRP, the dolls sell out completely every single time and become deeply sought after. We can't ignore that a big reason for this is because scalpers and their idiot bots cause them to become rarer than they might actually be worth, but no change is going to happen until we can come together as a community to find common ground. And bashing other collectors' heads in for either liking or not liking a doll and proceeding to call them delusional probably isn't going to get them on your side. The main issue fans have had with these launches is that they've consistently sold out in under 2 minutes, and this is largely due to scalpers and resellers who use bots and then take to eBay to resell the dolls for 3 to 4 times the original price. During the release of Dracula, multiple scalpers and resellers were bold enough to share Flip of the Day, encouraging other flippers to scalp this doll. Their post included the retail value and what the doll resold for. This led to Historical Dolls Alice to creating a thread on their ideas on how to stop bots. Monster High Grimya shared a post of one of the scalpers' email confirmations ordering easily over 10 Dracula dolls. LJ Plays shared their anger at Mattel by saying, "The sloppiest release ever! How do you get away with letting people buy more than 16 Draculas? There are sellers on eBay selling mass quantities of these. Make it right. Release more. You can produce more. Stop supporting the reselling business." It was noted, though, by fans that for today's launch of the Bride of Frankenstein set, it took about 2 hours for the set to sell out. This is because Mattel put more systems in place, making it harder for scalpers to place multiple orders, allowing most fans who wanted the set to get it. And y'all might drag me for this, but this is actually my favorite Skeletor set. I've wanted a Frankenstein set for so long, so just let me have my moment. Monster High Gen 1 continues with the launch of the Holiday Draculaura doll, which uses Draculaura's original sculpt and facial screening on the original Monster High body. Much like Barbie holiday dolls, this doll was likely created to please OG Monster High fans and cater to a more mature audience while still being able to mass produce it. This doll is reasonably priced at $39.99, which most fans actually shared they were happy about and felt was fair. So good job, Mattel. You can learn more about this Draculaura in my friend Elvira's video, which I've linked below. Additionally, Gen 1 continues through the Monster High Pre-Production dolls, a line of the original core 4 dolls, Frankie, Stein, Draculaura, Clawdeen Wolf, and Laguna Blue, with all their original pets, diaries, and accessories for only $24.99. And the Real Drama line, which is black and white versions of the core 4, Clawdeen Wolf, Laguna Blue, Draculaura, and Frankie Stein with a specific accent color. These dolls also retail at the reasonable price of $24.99 and include extra long saran hair, pets, doll stands, a mini poster, and a big poster. Check out @ZombieXcorn's video for hair tutorials and @PlanetHim for a more in-depth look at these ghouls. Gen 1 also continues through Easter eggs that are sprinkled throughout Monster High Gen 3 dolls. On Laguna Blue's Goldfish Cracker snack box, the original Neptuna artwork is used. Rebecca Shipman said this was intentional during the Monster High event and that they tried leaving little Easter eggs for collectors to find. Another note being that while Cleo now has a pet Tut, his set is not dead, and this is later confirmed by the Skulltimate Cleo Denial doll, in which Hisette can be seen in a photo next to Tut. Most notably, and now I can finally reveal, Monster High Gen 1 continues because Mattel will be introducing the Fang Vote program, which allows fans to vote on who they want as the next collector Monster High doll. It's likely this will be similar to Barbie's collector voting system, but with Monster High's flair. Can I just take a moment to say, Catty Noir Haunt Couture doll when? I'm still holding out for a Shadow Ghouls line of dolls. Please comment down below if you want the Shadow Ghouls. I want to create a collage of how many people would want that so Mattel can finally give it to us. Thank you. One of the main ways Monster High is keeping its original fans engaged is with the Monster High Alumni Program. This was created by Mattel to make sure the original fans and older fans of Monster High aren't left out like they were in Gen 2. This is why you'll see some influencers sporting custom jackets and beautifully ornate boxes of the Gen 1 dolls. If you're hoping for Gen 1 movies and webisodes, all hope isn't lost there either. When Nickelodeon tweeted out the new cast of Monster High, Draculaura's original voice actor Debbie Derryberry commented a crying emoji. But when one user commented, "This seems alright, but what about the OG voice actors?" Showrunner Shay Fontana responded, "This is just the beginning. This means there's talks about reviving the OG lore in some way. Perhaps a crossover? What are your theories?" On to lesson 3, merchandise. This year, Monster High has released an absurd amount of merchandise. In only a month of being out, there is already 33 Monster High Gen 3 dolls to collect. You know there's a ton of dolls, but what about the other various paraphernalia used to promote Monster High? It all started at VidCon when Monster High's booth gave out graduation sashes in 4 different colors: green, pink, blue, and purple. Additionally, character trading cards and goodie bags were handed out during the event for free. At Comic-Con, Mattel gave out enamel pins, and more popularly known, Monster High has partnered up with Hot Topic and Amazon to sell a variety of Monster High t-shirts, including various Pride t-shirts, a backpack, and a makeup palette. It was even hinted by the Monster High team that they will be collaborating with a makeup company to release a licensed makeup line. How exciting! The merchandise continues with Spirit Halloween with the uber popular journal bag, a set of fangs, makeup kits, costumes, and jewelry. Mattel also produced a line of 6 plushies which have only been found at Walmart so far. Now on to the 28 other dolls included in Monster High Gen 3. Since no one has really talked about her, budget Clawdeen, who really is perfect if you want a taste of Gen 3 without the $24.99 price point. The budget dolls are very similar in design to the Playline dolls, but they just come with far less accessories. And since there's so many fabulous unboxings on YouTube, I decided I'd rather just point out some variants you may not have known about. There are 2 variants of Toralei Stripe, one with yellow eyeshadow and one with pink eyeshadow. Clawdeen has 3 variants, one with a moon t-shirt, one with a claw pattern t-shirt, and one with a more narrow face. We discovered though that what's actually happening with these variants is that they're screenings from other G3 dolls. Clawdeen's variant is actually the makeup from the 6-pack Clawdeen just on core Clawdeen, and Toralei is the same. All current Deuce Gorgon phones have a factory error that has Laguna's sticker as his phone. Did I miss any variants or details? Comment down below. Thank you scary much to everyone who was so patient on waiting for me to finish this video. I know it was a lot of information I tried to pack into a 25-minute time frame. I'm going to be putting my email here for any videos that you might want to watch or information or tea you want to share with me to put in my next video. And as always, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, turn on notifications, and hit subscribe so you never miss the tea on the toys you love. Thanks for watching. See ya!